Hello and welcome to Caching Waves. This is your Elliott Wave update for ICP. I just wanted to show you on the 4-hour chart our 5-wave impulse to the upside. Had our third wave come past the 1.618. Our fourth wave was pretty shallow between the 236 and the 382. And our fifth hit a common target of the 2.382 extension of our wave 1. So as of now, we're expecting to correct this entire 5-wave sequence to the upside, so it should eat up quite a bit of time. So common areas we look for this wave 2 in the larger trend, this is all a wave 1, is previous consolidation of the fourth wave right here, which is the area of interest we'd be looking for. I have it highlighted here. And we'd be looking on linear scale between the 50 and the 618, hopefully between the 382 and the 50 if it's a very bullish market. So we've started with 3 waves, which can be an A wave or a W wave in a complex structure. And it's difficult to know which one we're going to get. Here's the problem when you start with 3 waves as an ABC. We have our A wave, B wave, and our ending diagonal for our C wave. So what can happen in these areas is we can make a triangle, which is we get an ABC, 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 etc. This is one that's if the market is very bullish, but we know we're most likely in a wave 2, so we're expecting either a WXY complex correction, which this would be our W as a zigzag, come up for our X and another zigzag to the downside, or we make some sort of flat pattern if it's a super bullish market. So when we start with 3, a lot is possible. So we have to rely on these smaller time frames to get an accurate reading of the current path it is on. So I just have this labeled. This isn't my primary or anything like that. But this is what I'm looking for here. I'm looking for a double zigzag for our A wave, and after the fact, I will see what sort of reaction we get at the 618. You can see in red there of this move to the downside, which is there at 1327. If we start to sell off fast, which means price falls faster than this wave, then I'd say, okay, our X wave is in potentially, and we're making a zigzag to the downside. If we come up to this area, and we make a sideways correction, I would say, okay, we're in an A wave in the middle of a B wave, which can go pretty high if it's like a flat pattern. That's our targets for an expanded flat, 1834 to 1980. And then we'd expect 3 or 5 waves move down, and this would be a correction in itself. Now, this is a very bullish pattern if that plays out, and very difficult to track in real time. So as of right now, I'll zoom into the smaller time frame, but it's very important the reaction we get around this area at the 618. So we'll go down to the 15-minute. This does not look impulsive. It looks like a complex 3-wave move as our first wave. Our 1-to-1 extension is at 1405. And on linear, we're actually at 1364, which is the one I would use because that is exactly right at the 618 of our first move to the downside. So this is what I would go by. It looks like this would most likely end up being, it looks complex, so I'd label it as either a WXY or an ABC, and I would expect this to become complex as well, as a 3-wave move rather than a 5 to complete that A wave, most likely a double zigzag. But more importantly, I'm not going to trade this one at the moment. But more importantly is after we get to this area, again, nothing says we have to get to this area. We could just make one more move to the upside and then come down for that correction I mentioned. Reason being, we only have to reach the 0.618 extension to be considered complete. But I'm not trying to over confuse things here, but I want to see what happens as soon as we hit the 618. If we drift sideways in some sort of channel pattern and we get wave equality, like the 1-to-1 extension of this first wave off the second, I may consider entering a long with the stop at this A wave at the 1-to-1 extension of this wave. But I might be over confusing things here. I just want you guys to understand how much can happen in this area, and we can only go off the previous wave to bring up our probabilities in that moment. So I'm sidelined right now. The time to enter was down in this area. I'm not in, so as of right now, I need more price action. I need to see what happens when we reject from this area here. Again, do we sell off fast, in which case we're probably getting an ABC to the downside, and this is WXY, or do we drift sideways, in which case I'll probably try and get this long. All right, guys, so that's it for ICP. If you have any questions, please let me know, but there's a lot that can happen here with just beginning with 3 waves. It does not look impulsive, and I do expect this to eat up quite a bit of time because we are currently correcting this move. So we'd expect it to take at least 618 extension in time or a 1-to-1 extension in time. B waves can really mess with people. So unless you get a clean setup, you might want to avoid it because it can go out all the way till, like, you know, early to late February, this B wave, and it can throw a lot of people off. But one thing's clear to me, I don't think this is impulsive. We're just in the middle of a consolidation area. There is trades available, but not unless I get a clean setup to enter one with some valid reasons. All right, guys, that's it for ICP. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you like this content, and I'll see you on the next one.